So one of the first things that can be changed, and this is really easy, is just the title and description and the icon for a site. Also, really simple thing to change in SharePoint sites is what page you want to show up as the home page. Other ways of controlling the look and feel without having to go through and do a whole complete branding exercise is just to use the built-in theming engine, where themes are just kind of a way to change the background image or the color schemes, font sizes, that type of thing. And then custom styles is kind of more along the lines of you're going to build your own custom style sheet. You could either apply it to your own master page, or you could add, you add the custom style sheet as an alternate CSS style to your site. So basically what you're doing is just overriding the different name styles inside of SharePoint. And then the most involved route is to actually go in and do custom master pages. And this is where custom master pages would be if you really need to change not just the look and feel but the layout. So you want different web zones, and so that would also involve not just master pages but actual page layouts. So you would have different templates for building pages that might have the different web part zones on them arranged in different ways. And your custom master page, maybe it has different custom navigation system or something like that. It's more about arranging things on a page than it is as opposed to just the look and feel, the styling of it. But the master page is where you would put in the references to your style sheets. So here you can see here is just the screenshot of a site, standard SharePoint team site, and you can see the logo or the icon image showing up, and then also the title of the site, which is easily changed. And one thing that's not showing on here is the description, but that is also captured. So why don't we go ahead now and we'll take a look at configure the site title, description, and icon. Here I've just opened up my SharePoint team site, and you can see here it's got the default SharePoint logo, and I gave it a name of test site collection. I also gave it a description, but it doesn't show up on the default out of the box SharePoint team site page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the site settings, and then if we go under look and feel and then down to the title, description, and logo navigation item, that's where we can configure this. So I can change the title of the site, change that to 2. Don't really need to change that. I'm going to change the logo so I can browse to one. I can either browse from SharePoint if I have that inside of a SharePoint picture library or site assets library, something like that. But in this case, I'm just going to get it from my computer. And I've already uploaded one called demo logo. So I'll go ahead and set that, let that upload into the server, click OK, and you can see here I've already changed the logo on my site. Very easy. We can also do this through Visual Studio. It doesn't have to be done through the browser. So I have a Visual Studio project here I just created, and I'm going to add a feature. And what we're going to do is we'll just call this site logo description feature, and we'll scope it at the website. That should be good. Go ahead and save that. And what I'm going to do now is also I'm going to add an event receiver to that. And I really just care about the feature activated, so I'm just going to, just for clearing up the real estate here, I'm just going to delete the other ones that I don't care about. and then we'll uncomment the feature activated. Oops. Okay, and let's just get rid of this here too. Make this nice and clean. Okay. So I'm going to get an instance to the parent web. So go to the feature object, and then parent. Then we need to cast that as SP web since it comes back as an object. And then once I have the web, these are just simple properties of the SP web, so I'll set the title to new title for this. And let's see, do the description. And let's change the logo. Let's just make that, let's just wipe it out. And we'll also wipe out the site logo description. Then the last thing we need to do is we need to make sure we call the update method, just like the rest of SharePoint Object Model. You should be familiar with this by now. Anytime you make changes in the SharePoint Object Model, the standard practice is to call update, depending on which object we're working with. Here we're working with SP Web, so we'll call update. That lets SharePoint Object Model know it needs to do an update in its database. And now I'm ready to go ahead. I'm going to compile this, just make sure it's good here, and then I will deploy this. So this is we'll go ahead and deploy our solution, and then it's going to also activate the feature. So once this is done deploying and the feature is activated, we'll go back to the site and we'll refresh the home page and just see if these changes took place. So the deploy was successful, feature got activated. So I'm going to do a refresh on the site, and sure enough, here's our new title, Site Collection 2. We wiped out the site logo, the logo URL and logo description, so that when you do that, SharePoint goes with its default logo. And if I go back in and go to site settings, you can see the this description that we set from code as well.